Have you purchased a course that sits on the virtual shelf unfinished? Hi, I'm Cheryl Texera, and I am going to show you some strategies today that will help you leverage all the courses that you purchase so you stop wasting money and get the most out of every single course you purchased. So I hope you all are doing good today. Happy Monday. And it is May, if you can believe it. It's already May 3rd, and we are just right into the second quarter here. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're making progress on all of your projects so that you can reach your goals, right? Because without actually implementing all of your projects, well, first you have to identify those projects, right? Without identifying them, without reaching those goals and actually implementing those projects, it is very difficult to make your goals. So that's what I'm here to do, is help you implement all of those amazing ideas. And and also to resolve pain points that you have in your business that keep you from reaching your goals. And one of them is actually purchasing these courses. We all call it, falling for that shiny object and going through that problem of just purchasing course after course and never finishing them. And I'm here to help you figure out a strategy for yourself so that you never, ever waste time and money again on purchasing courses that you never actually finish. So I just created this little PowerPoint. It's actually not a PowerPoint. I'm using Google Slides for the first time, and I wanted to share this with you. I think it's pretty cool, and it's something that you can leverage as well if you don't have Canva, or you don't have PowerPoint. You can use this cool feature of Google Slides, so that you can keep doing presentations, and you can build them right in Google Drive, which is pretty cool. No more downloading it to your computer and all that stuff. So tip for the day. Anyway, so hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Kathleen. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it very much. So, okay, so shiny object syndrome, guys. I'm gonna see if I can actually do this. I can present it from the beginning. Okay, here we go. So, shiny object syndrome, what is it, right? What is it? So to me, it's not about falling for a sales pitch, right? It's not about purchasing something you don't need. It's really about purchasing something that you might need, but you just never finish it. You never implement it. You never actually learn the things that course is supposed to teach you, and therefore you never realize that return on investment. So it's not about wasting money falling for something, right? I don't want you to ever feel like you fell for something and got tricked, because that is not what entrepreneurs out there that are putting courses out there, they're not trying to do that. They're trying to give you the best value they can give you at that time in their own knowledge base. And so I don't want you to ever feel like you fell for something. I want you to just think about it as part of your business strategy, right? To learn and take training when you need it. And so we're going to dive in to how you can actually do that, right? Because this is a real pain point. One, it can be a real waste of time, but it can prevent you from reaching your goals because you're just delaying. Like that particular course, it may not be a magic pill, but it might be one of the things that you actually need to implement. I mean, if you implemented, to actually, get yourself a little bit further down your path. So I have this little 5-step process that I think can really help you in getting your courses organized so that you can leverage them when you need them, okay? Because here's the thing is, if you take a course, well, here's a story for you. In my years in IT, I've been in IT for a long, long time, almost 25 years or something. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming on. I've been in IT for a long time, and one of the things that always drove me crazy was when we had to learn a new language or a new tool or something like that. A perfect example is I worked for this pretty large business or organization, and we had something like, I don't know, 50, 60 developers or something like that. And we sent all of them to a Java course, including myself. It was at the time, it was a long time ago, but we sent them all to a Java course, and then we all came back to the office, and 4 or 5 of us got to actually use what we learned in that course right away. The rest of the people actually had to wait, because they were maintaining the old system, which was in the old language. That old language was COBOL. And so they were still maintaining the old system, which was huge. It was probably at the time like 10 million lines of code. So it was a big deal. It wasn't like it was, some small little application, right? And so there's just like 3, maybe 4 or 5 of us, I think, that were actually implementing what we learned. So then by the time we transferred, everybody, which it really wasn't even everybody, because that system is still alive today, that old system, but not all of it, because we've slowly moved everything over to the new language. But what happened is those people that took the course and never got to implement, we had to retrain them. We had to send them back to training. We had to send them back to, get them mentored again. And we had to do all these things because they didn't apply it right away. And so they lost the knowledge. And so that's why I want you to create this like 5-step little process here so that you can help yourself leverage every single course you purchase, and you purchase the course and you utilize the course at the time you need it, okay? So the first thing I'd like to see you do is create some sort of a course tracking system. And we'll get into this in a little bit of detail here in a minute. So create a course tracking system, right? And then, do some research before you purchase a course. So what does that mean for you? It means you have to start planning ahead a little bit. Instead of scrolling for your feed and falling, and just like, seeing the one thing after another, one sponsored post after another with this course and that course, that you might need all those things at some point during your business career. You might need those things, but you don't necessarily need them all now. And so by planning your projects, you can actually manipulate your feed in Facebook and everything by planning out and doing some research before you purchase a course, so that your feed just gets magically modified to be the courses that you were kind of interested in taking. So we'll get into that in just a minute. And so the other thing is, you can create a little mini approval process for your courses. So if you find yourself constantly violating your own rules on purchasing a course, and you're constantly purchasing things and then never implementing, create an approval process. And we'll get into that too in just a second. Create an approval process for yourself so that you force yourself to think things through before you purchase, okay? And then the last one is, remember, you may not need to take the course, right? You could delegate to a team member. If you're in the process of building a team, or you have a team, or you plan on having a team, think about the projects that you're going to do between now and the time that you have a team, and then determine which courses you really need to take and which ones would be better off to have someone on your team take, because they're the ones who will actually be applying it, not you. And then they can brief you on the course and teach you some things, and you can still have it as as an asset to your business that they're consuming, right? So, that whole thing can really make this whole process can really make a difference in how you do things, how you reward your team by giving them incentives. And people like to take training, and they love when their employers purchase training for them. So that's a nice way to do things. And you give them a perk, and you get something, you give them better knowledge, and you don't have to do it. Okay, so creating a course tracking system. So let's talk about that. So how do you do it? One is you want to create a folder structure. If you haven't taken my file management system course, and if you registered for it, it's it's very brief. It's just a real brief course to kind of get your file system set up. So in that folder structure, you have, if you followed it, you should have some sort of a folder for education and training. So in that folder, you can create some subfolders in there for like professional development. If you have a coach, any of your coaching materials, any type of courses that you take. You can also create a Trello board. I've done that in the past where, create a Trello board have a card for each one of your courses. You can actually categorize your Trello board by, marketing courses or Facebook ads courses or, different types of courses, general business courses, that sort of thing. Or you can do it using your file system, just like I'm showing you here. And then, professional development would be any types of certifications, any global skills that you're taking, like project management, and anything if you have to get CEUs, PDUs, any of those types of things for a certification, that continuous education you might want to put in there. And then coaching resources is anything your coach provides to you, templates, anything, put them there. That doesn't mean you won't utilize them in other areas. Like if it's something for content creation, let's say, then you're creating that content, and you might have a template that your coach gave you, and you might move it over to your content folder so it's easier to access, right? And then your e-courses, you want to make sure and have that URL to find it, because people use different things. Some people use ClickFunnels for their courses, membership sites. Some use Teachable, some use Thinkific, some use, all these different ones, right? So there's tons of them out there. And if you don't remember where the membership site is of the course you purchased, you're going to be in trouble, right? And then any downloads would also go into that folder for a particular course, right? Not just blanketed like, one big folder for all the courses. Is, each course you put in there, a separate folder, and you put all the assets from that course in that folder so you have them for future reference. And because it's in your working folder structure and it's organized, it's going to be easier for you to access later on down the road. And the last thing for the tracking system is to create a tracking spreadsheet of all of your courses, right? When you purchase a course, add it to the spreadsheet and track the things like the objective, the course objective, the main learning objectives that you have in there, the category, like is it for Facebook ads, or is it for content writing, or is it for building a funnel, or whatever it might be. Try to categorize it, because then in that spreadsheet you can sort right by that category, which makes it nice. And then put in the URL right there, a link to it or something, so that you can find that URL. And you can even put like the email that you signed up with, so that you remember which email it was. I don't really recommend putting passwords in there. I would keep your password in a safe. That you know that password too, that general password too, because your spreadsheet could, your system could get hacked and passwords could be found that way. So don't do that with your passwords, right? Be careful with your passwords. And then you could also put in a column for what project this course is for. Okay, because that is like my big thing. If you are working on a project and you you know that you have a gap in learning, in your skill set to complete that project, that's when you want to start going out and finding that course. Okay, so that's where I come to this number 2, which is do research before purchasing, right? Because here's what's cool about that. Let's say you have a project that you're working on and you're going to work on, right? And you're planning it out right now, and Facebook ads is in there, and you're going to have to create a Facebook ad for the first time. Or maybe you've been doing it a while and you've been clunking through it and you know you need to build that skill, which, by the way, I totally recommend that. I recommend diving in and trying it at least once or twice before you purchase a course, because then you will have a better idea of what skills you need. So when you look at somebody's course content, the outline or whatever you get, to understand what you're going to get out of it, the sales page, whatever, you can really look at, is it actually matching the skill gaps that you have? Is it going to address the skill gaps that you have? Is it going to address those frustrations and pain points that you're having with Facebook ads or whatever it is? I say Facebook ads because it's so frustrating. But I did this recently, and I took a class on Facebook ads. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing is that the class that I took was about targeting. It was about, the ad copy, and it was about images. It was not about the mechanics of setting up an ad and all of those things. So if you're having a pain point setting up the ad and not necessarily in the other areas, then that course wouldn't be for you, right? So if you just bought it because, I need Facebook ads, and you really didn't, pay much attention to what was in it, or you didn't plan ahead, then you might get something that you don't actually need, or that doesn't quite meet the requirements that you had when you need to take that course, right? So if anybody's done Facebook ads in here, give me some fire, mad face emojis, because I'm telling you, that is a frustrating process at times. Okay, so when you do the research before, one thing it does is it provides different options and approaches, right? So you start researching the pain points you're having, because like a good business owner, you tried first, right? You tried first so you could get familiar with things, and then you went and searched for some courses. So now you're looking at different approaches, different things, different pain points being addressed with different types of research that you're doing. Now that could just be like you're reading some blog posts or something like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be a course, which is cool, because you might be able to get the information you need for free, and you'll get better and better about Google searching what you need the more you do it, right? So that's one of the things. And then what happens is when you start doing that research out on Google, then your feed in Facebook and your feed, the ads that start popping up in your feed are going to be related to that thing. So can you see how instead of you sort of being a victim of the ads that come in through your feed, you can actually take charge of what's in your feed by doing the research that you need, and then those ads will magically pop up. So here's a little secret. If you are trying to research ads and how people run ads in your niche, just start doing some research in your niche, and then you probably will start seeing some ads in your Facebook feed about your niche, and then you can start creating a swipe file, right? Everybody does it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody has swipe files, and you have to, right? It gives you good ideas on what kind of ads are working or not working, what kind of ads you like, what kind of ads, and then you can kind of gauge by the success of that particular person how their ads are doing and all that stuff. So little side note. Okay. Okay, so now if you don't feel like you need to do this step, if you don't feel like you need to do some research, if you don't feel like you are, any of the ads are relevant that you need, then maybe you don't need the course yet. Okay, maybe you don't need the course yet. Maybe you just need to try for a little while first, right? Maybe you don't know enough to even be dangerous, right? You don't know enough to know what you don't know, so you don't know what to ask. you don't know what words to use, you don't know what Google search to use. So if you're there, you might need to just try a little bit more, because that course might be not too advanced, but you might not be ready to implement it, right? And so the more you can practice up front, when all my years of experience in training developers in new languages, which I've done several times, trained a whole entire team in a whole brand new language. As soon as you can the sooner you can implement, the better. And if you don't get out there and practice first, like the ones who would actually try and practice, I'd always try to give them assignments in that language first and show them some of the basics, and then get them into training after they've tried. That way it would kind of clarify some things, like, oh, okay, that's why we do that, right? So it does make it easier, don't you think? Okay, so then planning to take that course during the project implementation, I mean, that's like a huge thing, right? Because this is where we start wasting money, is if we don't have a purpose and a reason for taking that course. We just saw it in our feed, and then we're like, oh, I know I'm going to need that, so I'm going to take that. Or, oh, that's going to be the pill, right? That's going to be the magic thing that's going to change everything for me. Yeah, that's not really going to happen, right? Especially if you don't finish the course and implement it. And how many of you have done this? Raise your hand if you've taken a few of the modules, right? The first one, maybe the second module, something like that. You get partially through the course. You're all excited. You run out and start trying to implement. Then you never come back to it, right? You never come back to the course. You never complete it. So you never get the full force and the full potential of that course out of that. So you wasted your money again because you didn't implement. Yeah, hand raised. Okay, so when planning your project, determine if you have skill gaps, right? Determine if you have the skill gaps. Do the research. Do the research to determine what type of learning you need. So the more you research, the better you're going to have control of what's in your Facebook feed, on what kind of ads come up for your Facebook feed. So really think about that, because you can take charge of what's in that feed and give you the things that are relevant to you and what you really need. Determine if the software you are using has the training you already need, right? Let's say you're learning ActiveCampaign or how to do automations, right, for email. Doesn't really matter what software it is, right? Why not look and see what their training videos have first on automations, right? Go to MailerLite or ActiveCampaign and do their trainings first. Do their workshops first, because you probably could get for free or for the cost of the software you purchased what you might already be purchasing. Now, that doesn't mean you wouldn't eventually need a course or something from somebody else who might have a perspective that you need, right? Based on their niche or, whatever specific thing they're teaching you. But you could see how the videos and the trainings and all that stuff that come with your software can get you really further down the road. So now, instead of having to purchase some sort of basic course, you might be able to purchase a more advanced course that will get you further down the road, right? And get you those network connections that you need, like the teacher of that course and getting into their group, so that you really can start, reaching that potential of that particular skill set that you are building for yourself. Remember, everything you're doing is not about just getting something done, but it's also about building a skill set for yourself or someone on your team, right? Okay, so then the next thing is creating this approval process, right? The approval process is simple. You can create yourself a little document, right, that you use as a template every time. And as you're looking through the feed, as you're going through the sales page, you can fill it out. What's the name of the course? What's the link to the course? What is the cost of the course? What skills will you learn? What templates or other assets will you acquire? How does this learning help you, learning this skill help you reach your goals? And then what pain points are you addressing by taking this course? What project are you working on that will allow you to apply what you learned? And then how will you ensure you have these resources available for the future? So I'm going to just pop that up real big so you can take a screenshot of that. And I think I'm going to create a little template for you guys. So definitely raise your hand if you want the template. I'll have it out with the replay when I send it out in the email. If you're not subscribed to my list, you can get on my list by going to thescrumshop.com and get it. I'm just getting one of the quick start guides that I have there, and then you'll be on the list and you will get this template along with the replay. So I hope you join my list. But that this little list right here can be a great assessment tool that you fill out while you are looking at the sales page, right? In fact, all right, good, me, yay, everybody's yay. So that's the thing, guys, is that this can also be something that you use when you create your sales page, right? Make sure you're answering these questions so that the people that are purchasing your courses know what they're getting out of it, right? Make sure those things are doing that. In fact, now I want to go look at all my sales pages and make sure they're doing what they should be doing. Okay, so that is that approval process that I think can just be, can really make the difference. So I will have that out to you very, very soon later on today, okay? All right, and then last is team building, right? Paying for training for your team can be a great perk, and it saves you time, right? It can save you time. So you hire a VA at 10 or 15 bucks an hour and you pay them to take the course, and you purchase a course for 27 bucks, and then maybe you pay them $100 to get all the way through the course and start applying what they learned, and then you don't have to do it. When you think about things in terms of projects and in terms of tasks and how much it would cost for you to do the task compared to somebody on your team, your time isn't just worth 15 bucks an hour. Your time is worth a lot more. And you got to be raising yourself up to that CEO level so that you can get the bird's eye view of your business. And then your team person that's your VA or whoever you're sending to that training, one, they get a nice perk. Two, they can give you a brief on how it all works, and they can do a little presentation to other people on your team to sort of train the trainer, right? Or you can purchase it for yourself, and then you're sharing it with your team as part of their training, right? And then they can take the course. Depending on the business that you're dealing with. Some charge licensing fees for each individual person, and some do not. So think about that and how you can leverage those courses so that you can get the most out of it, right? You can get the most potential out of every course, because every course that you purchase probably has it. Now, here's the thing. I don't want you to necessarily go run out and to your file structure and start searching for all your courses and get yourself all sidetracked by that, right? I don't need to share my screen anymore. I don't want you to get all sidetracked by that, because that could be a huge waste of time, right? Remember when you implemented your file tracking or your file management system, I told you to just archive your old files and only pull in the stuff that you need when you need it, right? If you're working on some particular thing and the files are in your old system, just go pull them over and create a new folder structure within your new thing, within your new file system. So the same thing applies to this. You don't have to go and search for everything. Just if you start thinking about the categories of trainings that you already have, then you can start kind of jotting down the names of those courses. And then at the time you can go and find them and grab them. That way you don't waste a whole bunch of time looking for them right now when you have plenty of other things to do, right? Pull them in as you need them. You'll save a lot of time. and energy, because some of those courses you may never utilize again. You may never need them again, right? And some you will. My Facebook ads course, I'm keeping it because I may revisit it now, because it was really good about targeting and that sort of thing. And I may need that little reminder. And I have it now organized so that I can access it easily and quickly. And I know what's what. When I go to the videos, I know which one is which one, right? So just, keep that in mind. You don't need to go off and get crazy, right? And go down a rabbit hole, because I know that we love to organize as people, right? We love to categorize and organize things. It's part of our nature as human beings, right? And so I want you to resist that, right? Promise me you'll resist it. Resist it. And only go after the ones that are relevant to the projects you're working on now. Okay? All right. And if you need help identifying those projects, book a call with me, you guys. You don't have to wait until I have a boot camp or any of those kinds of things. You could book a call with me right there by doing bit.ly/meet Cheryl T. bit.ly/meet Cheryl T. And you can book a call with me and I can help you identify all those projects, right? And then I can help you implement those projects as well by providing you support. So if you, I did just send an email out last week about implementing projects. And if you need help with one project that's going to take you less than 3 months, let's talk, because I can help you identify all the things you need, make sure that you have all the resources that you need to get those or to implement that project, and then I can support you through implementation. So, book a call, see what you think, and I can help you identify those projects or help you implement the one that is burning right now that you want to get done, because it's already, we're already in the second month of Q2. We are coming up on, halfway through the year, and I want to make sure you meet your goals for the year, right? Your goals for the year, whether it's an income goal, an implementation goal, or whatever. I want to help you break it down into projects so you can get there. All right. Okay. So we have a comment. One thing I've learned from courses that I purchased and partially implemented is that I still went through the course fully. So I still learned stuff that I am implementing now when I'm actually ready for it. Good. And that's the thing. It's like, that Facebook course that I purchased, I knew that my project was coming up. I was still like, probably 6 weeks or 5 weeks away from needing to implement it. I purchased it and then I filed it and got it, organized and everything, and knew where it was, so that when I was ready to implement, I had it and I was ready to go. So yes, you can do that as well. So that's why I don't want you to lose track of where those courses are. Find those assets, when you need them. If you purchased a course, at least jot it down on your spreadsheet and maybe even put some notes of where you think it is, so that you can go and get that course when you need it, so you can implement, every little piece of it. So you get the most out of the course, you get the most out of your money, and you get that return on investment, right? That you need. That's what you're trying to do. So think about everything that you do now as an investment. All your courses are investments in your business and in yourself, in your professional development, right? So if you think about things that way, scrutinize a little bit more when you purchase a course because you need it to implement your project. If it's something you're not working on for another 6 months, maybe you can wait, because that particular course that you're seeing in your feed now might not be the right course in 6 months from now, because you're going to learn a ton in the next 6 months, right? Because we learn tons. I mean, once you get into that place, like I've been doing this business now for 18 months, and I'm really starting to get to that place where I don't know if you know how that feels. You've been in a job for like a couple of years now, and you're really starting to get good at it, and it's really starting to get fun, because you're like, you're in this mode, right? that's where I want you guys to get, where you're in that mode and it's just an amazing and fun thing, and you are excited and can't wait to get up every morning and work on your business. All right, you guys. Okay, so I bought courses I've lost track of. Yes. Yeah, I know. I hate that. So don't go crazy. Don't go down the rabbit hole. You might be able to find them doing some searches in your file structure. So don't panic. Just take some notes that you did purchase that course, especially if you know who you purchased it from. You might be able to find them and then have them help you re-access that course that you purchased. Okay. All right, you guys. So I hope you have a great week. Have a great day. It is a gorgeous May day. So enjoy, 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 and make sure you implement. All right. Okay. Take care. Bye.